ahead and get started with Coach. Jen, you can lead us off, followed by Todd, and then we'll open it up to the floor. Thanks.
Good evening, Coach. Nikhil talked last night about how he wanted to use the closing moments of last night's loss as a learning experience. Did you have a chance to have any teaching moments with him today at all?
No. He was spending some time with assistant coaches in there, but no, I didn't have time. I mean, we're on a back-to-back. But I'm glad to hear that because that's exactly what we want. You know, we talked a little bit after the game last night briefly. That's what it has to be. You know, you've got to learn from it and move on. And, you know, we've had some really rough end-of-game situations. We just need to learn and move on. I mean, we're playing consistently competitive, and we've got to be able to close out games.
It's a bit of a triage unit for both teams tonight. 6 out for them. Where does Lou Williams factor in on your scouting report? Even though he's a new addition, he might have to play heavily tonight.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I think that their offense will center on Bogdanovich, Herter, Tony Snell making threes, pick and rolls with Capella and Lou Williams. I mean, you know, so those are the guys that they will go to, all really, really good offensive players. You know, but their game changes, obviously, with Trae Young not there.
And Coach, kind of piggybacking on the Hawks, as far as Capella, he's just been so tough, especially rebounding and block shots. How do you match up with him tonight? Because he's been a tough matchup for everyone.
Well, listen, I mean, Clint Capella has, you know, there's a couple of ways to play center effectively in this league, and him being a pick and roll finisher and offensive rebounder. And then he's a great pick and roll defender and shot blocker at the defensive end. I mean, you know, he doesn't do a lot of different things, but what he does are very important things very well. Yeah, he's one of the best centers in the league. There's no question about it. And he'll be a challenge tonight.
This is more of a general question, and I know your team's playing much better defense since the All-Star break, but if you look around the league, it appears that the scores are really starting to level off now. And is that maybe a case of the defense is finally catching up to the offense with the lack of practice time that everyone has had around the NBA?
I really don't know. I mean, fatigue, you know, people's legs and stuff, maybe not as crisp offensively. A lot of guys missing games, not as many as tonight's game, but a lot of guys missing games. And so some of those star players that are so hard to guard aren't playing as much. It could be a lot of different things.
Stan, Christian Clark here. How frustrating is it that, you know, you guys had 1, 4, or 5 are playing really good ball, come to a favorable stretch of schedule, and you know, the injuries kind of come in later?
I mean, you know, injuries are always frustrating, but they're also always part of the game. So, I mean, I've been at this a long time, and I mean, these things happen. You got to be ready to play. That doesn't frustrate me as much as 25 turnovers to lose a game in overtime last night. You know, a game that if you reasonably take care of the ball, you can win. I mean, again, for me, my concern is always with the things we can control. The injuries we can't. And so I wouldn't say I get disappointed like everybody else. Would I like to have Zion, Brandon, Lonzo all out there tonight? Josh? Yes, I would, but I can't do anything about it. So I just want to focus on the way we play. I get frustrated when we don't play the game the way we're capable of playing it.
Stan, Mark, Virginia here, USA Today. Good to see you. I got an off-court topic I want to ask you. What did you think of Major League Baseball's decision to move the All-Star game out of Atlanta in lieu of, you know, Georgia's voting bills?
Well, I think it is another example of, you know, players using their platform to influence leagues and to do the things that, you know, or to advocate for the things that they believe in. And I think one of the things, you know, the NBA players really embrace, sort of led by LeBron's group, are voting rights. And so this is going to be one. There's a fight around the country. There's voter suppression acts, laws being voted on, I think, in 43 states. And so that's going to be a big issue for a lot of people. But certainly that's where a lot of the athletes have turned their focus. So I'm not surprised that a league would decide that they need to support their athletes in that regard and move the All-Star game out. I mean, those are pretty, look, it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do in Georgia. It's pretty obvious it's anti-democratic, and I'm glad we have people standing up against it. And if athletes can use their platform, if anyone can use their platform to influence these things, especially something as basic to democracy as people having the right to vote, then why wouldn't you? So I think it's a great thing for Major League Baseball. As a matter of fact, I'm so strong on it, I think we should move Tuesday night's game that's supposed to be in Atlanta back here to New Orleans to make the same point. But, hey, I haven't talked to Nate about that, but just on principle, guys.
Good luck.
Well, I'm going to say this. If they won't agree to move the game on Tuesday, then I'm going to paint Nate McMillan and the Hawks front office as being against voting rights. So, that's just the way it goes.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.